So I made it through Lost in Space, all 10 episodes. Now, I can't recommend it because it's such a time investment and it's not a great show. It's not terrible and there's some great elements. So first of all, visually, beautiful and just fantastic sci-fi. The spaceships, the land vehicles they have, and especially the other planets. And I think it's really tough to pull off other planets. Either they look nothing like Earth and they just look kind of weird, or they look too much like Earth and you don't really feel like you're on another planet. Here it strikes a great balance where there's such beauty and you feel this wonder that reminds you a lot of Earth, but clearly you can tell, no, you are exploring space, you are on different planets. So the visuals, not to mention the robot, I'm going to get into that. One of the coolest looking robot designs just to look at, and then also when you see the robot doing things, just the athleticism is great. So it has a lot going for it, but it's pretty bland. The characters pretty forgettable. I don't hate them at all, the main characters, but I'm not super invested in their story, and I don't really love the romances. I didn't really respond to any of the romances I saw. So long. This was, I think, classic example of Netflix bloat. If they whittled it down to maybe 6, even 7, maybe 8 episodes, I think I could recommend it, but it's such a time investment for just not that much that happens. There's a few good lines, a few good lines here or there, but it's not particularly funny, it's not particularly witty, so I can't recommend it, but I did collect the best images, and I'll show them because I think that it is a beautiful show. So if you don't want to watch the whole show and just want to get a sense of just how visually stunning the show is, this video is for you. Now, usually with robots, you think stiff, jerky movements, think about the robot dance move, but here, the robots we see so different, so flexible. We see them jump, and first they flex their legs, catapult in the air, and then land softly like a cat. And athleticism is great. Just looking at them, they look so sleek and muscular, ripped, and they do different design elements. Their textures, almost like gills, reminds you a bit of the monster in Shape of Water. I got a lot of Shape of Water vibes, just the way that its body was all cut up and sliced up, kind of like a bodybuilder. And the proportions, how they proportion, just like the forearm to the arm, just visually when you're looking at the robot, looked very, very cool, very menacing at times, depending on the context you were seeing it in. And the face, a really cool face, able to convey emotion and have a very expressive face, but something completely different. The only thing it reminded me of was Rorschach off Watchmen. That's the only other kind of face I've seen that's able to convey so much emotion in such a way that's so alien to how we interpret faces to be. And some of the fight scenes we get with the robot, when we see him rear up with his arms and then the other arms stay down low, it reminds you of General Grievous, except Grievous, he had the lightsabers. Here we actually see shooting rockets out of all 4 arms. So just really, really cool robot design. I kind of wish on a better show, but nonetheless, great robot design, really cool interiors that we see. Again, very futuristic looking. I've mentioned lovely landscape shots on these different planets, and I love when you see the moon and these outlines of either outlines of a moon or a planet during daytime. Something about those images, and I'll show them now, just so striking. And I think they have the potential for a great survivalist story, and you have this group of people that are thrown together and they've got to overcome their differences, use their different skill sets, see how everyone brings something else, everyone reacts to situations in a different way, and nonetheless they come together and find a way to survive. And the fact that it's on a different planet, it throws this really cool wrinkle where all the normal calculations and kind of sciencey stuff that usually people in these survival situations have to make, suddenly there's a new atmosphere and there's new variables to factor into the calculations. And the fact that oftentimes in these survival situations, it's this makeshift family that you got to create, and being so far from Earth and home, it just adds that additional want to create this makeshift family. No matter how far away you are from home, you try to make a home somewhere else. So I thought it had a great premise, but this team just never really gelled into a team where you really had these characters that you liked and cared about and saw how they were different. And that brings me to the family. The family, it certainly didn't seem like an old 50s family, a Leave It to Beaver close-knit family, but I think that was fine. I think the show was going for a strained family, and you saw that, and it was fine, but there wasn't enough there. So there was an arc, and I liked the arc, but it just took too long to get there. The characters weren't likable enough, memorable enough. They were fine, but the two sisters, they were so similar. I feel like they never really differentiated these sisters, really fleshed them out enough. So again, they were likable and sarcastic and funny and witty at times, but I never really got these characters fleshed out and really defined their essence and how they were different. And then you throw these situations and you see how they're going to respond differently to the situations based on these personalities that they've really fleshed out. And I feel like we never got that. And the villain was okay. I won't spoil who it is. Has their we're not so different, you and I moment. And by that I mean they literally say we're not so different at one point. So a little cliche, a little one-dimensional, you could say, but that's fine. Not every villain is dynamic and three-dimensional. There's some villains that are pretty shallow and one-dimensional. And I liked how the villain at one point said, you're all like me, you just won't admit it. You know, I'm the only one who's honest, that I'm selfish and I look out for myself. And again, a little cliche, but a lot of people who are psychopaths and sociopaths, they do believe that everyone deep down would be like them, except they're scared and they're the only ones who are honest and brave enough to truly admit, yeah, I'm selfish, I look out for myself, and deep down everyone else does it too. I'm the only one who's honest about it. So again, there was good in this show. It's a huge investment. It's 10 episodes that are 50 or so minutes long. So, you're looking at almost 10 hours of your life. And that's a lot of movies you could watch. That's a lot of friends you could spend time with. That's a lot of, so if you're really going to invest that much time, I think the show's got to be pretty excellent. I don't think this one was.